The Swedish Sustainable Economy Foundation. Find us at tssef.se. We'd like to talk about environmental fiscal reform. Now, fiscal reform is about what governments do with the money they collect from the system. Environmental fiscal reform, or EFR, is about redesigning the money system to ensure that people get food on the table, roof over their heads in a sustainable way. We could ask the question, can we set the money system up to ensure that everyone gets a job in a way that means they can pay for a roof over their heads, for food on the table, and that they can do it in a way that's good for nature and the planet? To answer these questions, we need to understand the money system first. One way to think of the money system is to imagine money as water. In fact, you can imagine everyone's money in their bank accounts put together into a giant bathtub. Every month, money flows to companies and other forms of private enterprises when people pay their bills. It also flows to national government in the form of private taxes and value-added taxes, and it flows to local authorities as local taxes and municipal fees, for example. Private enterprises pass money on to national and local government organisations in the form of taxes and fees, etc. Now, during the following month, these organisations send money back to individuals as wages, subsidies, and even back to enterprises for services, and it all starts again. When you look at how much money is in the system, you see that about 6% of it represents the monthly spend on bills. Another 28% is in assets that can easily be realised. It could be cash in the bank or financial instruments that can be sold quickly. And the rest, about 66%, is in assets like property. These assets take some time to realise. If unemployment is around, say, 10%, then theoretically, if people were prepared to spend, say, 10% more each month, this would have the potential to create more jobs, as firms would have to expand. Now, this 10% represents just 2% of the easy realised assets and 0.6% of the total. Firms would be more profitable as people would have more money to spend. Now, this is given that people spend their money on things that need jobs to produce them. Assets swapping hands, things like property being swapped at ever higher prices, or even things like works of art, create very little extra work. One way to get people to spend more would be to decrease value-added tax. You could create a VAT holiday, say for 2 or 3 months. That would get spending up. A lot of people might say that we don't want people to spend more. If people spend more, it will only trash the planet faster as extractive industries accelerate to keep up with demand. This is a valid point. So we have to add some more controls. How can we design the system then to ensure that the environment is taken care of at the same time? Now let's go back to our original model. You could see the economy as a machine. The prime purpose of the machine is to give everyone a roof over their heads, food on the table, and to look after the planet. A machine needs control points or actuators to control it. Most economies already have quite sophisticated controls in place. In fact, many economies are digitalized and have tracking systems in place to show exactly what is going on month by month. These control points can include things like payroll tax, income tax, value-added taxes, land tax, state subsidies, municipal charges, government loans, and personal allowances. Modern information technology allows us to control this machine. We suggest adding a surcharge, a negative or positive one, to these already existing controls, and then raising or lowering the surcharge at regular intervals, and making the changes high enough to stimulate a real change. This is the mechanism that can bring a nation's economy, once extracting and polluting, under control whilst ensuring there are sufficient jobs available. Now, pollutants enter the economy by import, by extraction, or by manufacture. They're released because the technology to recycle them is either not available or the setup is not profitable enough in the context that it's being used. Placing surcharges at these points where the pollutant enters the economy and then raising the surcharge at regular intervals encourages the economy to conserve, recycle and run clean. Take the target over time. If the reduction is not going fast enough, we can raise the surcharge. If it's going faster than planned, you may need to reduce the surcharge to ensure businesses can keep up with the changes. It can be done. Let us show you more. Visit us at tssef.se.